wanted to come here today to explain why all the news crews are out front, what's going on, answer your questions, that sort of thing. Ms. Shower's passing around a yellow sheet that is an FAQ sheet that has a lot of what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to kind of back up and tell you how we got to today and then where we're going. I know many of you are, is everybody in Ms. Hughes' science class? Is everybody in Ms. Hughes' science class? You all have Ms. Hughes? So I know you actually have been studying Ebola for a couple of weeks. So you're probably going to know a lot more than I am. But I'll tell you what I know, and then we'll get you on with your day. So, as you know, about a couple of weeks ago in Dallas, Texas, there was a man who was identified as having Ebola. And you know that Ebola is very rare, but when it occurs, it's very serious. And so it's important that you remember it's very rare. It is serious when it is identified. So it was identified in Texas, and there was a whole healthcare team, a lot of people that worked with him. One of those people is a nurse who is from Akron. So last weekend, the nurse flew to Akron and then flew back home to Dallas, where she lives now. And yesterday on the news, we all found out that the nurse who had come to Akron and got back home, when she got back to Dallas, started to show symptoms that she might possibly have contracted Ebola. So that alerted everybody in our area that, you know, if anybody had met her, contacted with her, that could be a problem. So one of our teachers from our campus here made a call to me yesterday, and I give the teacher a great deal of credit for being immediately proactive and saying, Mr. Gordon, I want to make sure you know this because I want to make sure nothing can happen to me or my kids. And so we immediately called the health department. The Cleveland Health Department works with the Ohio Health Department, who works with the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, which I'm sure you've been studying. And we contacted her, and they got all of the information and tried to determine, okay, so did she actually interact with the nurse from Akron or not? And we believe she may have. Here's what we know. We know that the nurse did not have symptoms when the nurse came to Akron. And you know, because you studied it, you can't give Ebola to somebody if you don't have the symptoms. You have to have the symptoms. And so the nurse wasn't vomiting, the nurse didn't have diarrhea, the nurse didn't have the high fever, and so the nurse did apparently have a low fever, but not the high one that is Ebola. So we know that. We also know that the teacher does not have any symptoms. Doesn't have a fever, isn't throwing up, doesn't have diarrhea, doesn't have any of the symptoms, which means the teacher can't give it to anybody as well. That means there's no way that the teacher could have given it to any of us, any student, any family, any guest, any teacher, faculty. It could not have been transmitted. And that's what the health department told me late last night. They said, you know, there's no risk, go back to school. We said, well, we think we should clean the school. And they said, you don't even need to clean the school because, and you studied this, you don't get it from this kind of contact. You get it from direct contact with bodily fluids. And so we decided we had to clean the school anyway. So if you smell around, you're smelling bleach today. So last night at 1 o'clock, a crew came in the building and worked from 1 in the morning to 5:30 in the morning, all night long, washing every surface. Every table, every chair, all the floors, all the counters where the lunch food served, the drinking fountains, the bathrooms, the lockers, the door handles, the door plates that you push, everything. We intentionally used bleach, and again, if you've been doing your Ebola, soap and water will kill Ebola. So if soap and water will kill it, bleach will absolutely kill it. So that's why we use bleach, so that you can feel really confident. And we wanted you to smell bleach. We wanted it to be a little smelly in here so that you knew we really did do something. The teacher is going to be absent because you also know for Ebola that you wait for 21 days to make sure that there's no risk. So the teacher's going to be absent for those 21 days. And then after those 21 days, or if the health department gives us direction that she can come back sooner or later, once the health department says that she can come back, she'll be back at school. And so there is, I want to be really clear, there is no risk to you being here today. Now, one of the things you might have heard is that Solon schools are closed today. So why did they close when we opened? Solon is going through a very similar situation. They also have a teacher who may have had a contact. They also don't have any risk. They also want to clean their school. They're cleaning their schools today and will open again tomorrow. We cleaned our school last night so that we didn't lose a day. That's the only difference, is we just cleaned faster than they did. They didn't bring in crews overnight, they're bringing them in this morning. So the Solon situation is no different at all than what we went through right here.